continuing with the sayings of Jesus, or what I call the lost saying of Jesus. And this would be the number 7. And a question that was asked of him was, what is the secret of abundance? And I'll say fasting. I'm just kidding. As I mentioned, I've been fasting now for a few days. I think this is my day 5. And yeah, one can feel so good. Although day 3 and 4 wasn't so easy. Wow, those parrots having a very serious talk over there. Now, so here comes the question. What is the secret of abundance? And Jesus says, your life is the most precious piece of jewelry in God's jewelry store. Now let's allow this to sink in. Your life, you already have that, right? Abundance. Your life is the most precious piece of jewelry in God's jewelry store. So, same as we are precious to God, we experience life. Now, allow yourself to feel that word life. How does that sit in your jewelry store? Life. We protect it. We waste it. We use it well. We have many different approaches to it. But your life is the most precious piece of jewelry in God's jewelry store. Allow yourself to feel that. Yeah, these are just reminders what's already given, what is already within us, and what needs to be found and felt. Interestingly, I was listening to an audio that a friend sent me. He was actually the Czech publisher of and translator of the Course in Miracles. And he sent me something about Casey, and it was really good. He was describing his experiences, how they were happening so readily. He would just close his eyes and just enter places that were so unlike anything of this world. But one thing he kept saying, the feeling was indescribable. And this is what we're developing here. You're being invited to feel what's already in you, so you can find this inner abundance. Yeah, this inner, what's already in us. that we lost the capacity to feel. Generally, our feeling realm is being seriously damaged. If you have a thought and immediately have a response and a feeling, that is the healthy will. But no, or if I ask you how you feel, you go, give me a second, and you allow yourself to reverberate yourself. And they go, oh yeah, I have something. And then you virtually share it without talking about it, because feelings transfer by extension. So it's important to feel these messages, because just to store it in our mind and move on will not bring us what we're really looking for, but the direct experience of revelation. So he's offering us these inspiring ideas, but until the word becomes flesh, and until we feel it all the way down to big toe, to feel it in your ankles and in your calves and in your legs and in your whole lower section of what we often don't pay any attention to, like the will, the feeling self is not in the head. And as I always say, feelings don't talk. I guarantee you, when you drop into real feeling, actually that's how you know you're there, your thinking will virtually switch off. That really is the art of thought. A feeling inspires a different way of thinking, a very artful thinking. It's very experiential. So the next one to feel into, God is the jewel of the human heart. So let's travel straight away from the mind and park in the heart. For most people, they will be somewhere around the sternum. And I want to warn you about something. I often see people who are slightly dissociated when they say, oh, my heart, and they put a hand on top of their chest, almost on the throat. That is the heart of the mind, but not heart of the heart. So heart of the heart is way lower, and when you start feeling that, it will also engage more and more of the will or the feeling self, or something in Course of Love they call it wholeheartedness. Because to be wholehearted, you have to be able to feel and continue feeling without turning it off for some mental reason. So God is the jewel of the human heart, right? Actually, that's where the kingdom of heaven in a way abides. So allow yourself to travel from your thinking mind and focusing upwards. We're bringing it down, 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 until you park into what appears to be around your sternum area. Yeah, we're not talking about heart as being the pump that helps us to circulate the blood around the body, but the loving presence of the child of God within us. So God is the jewel of the human heart. So go there and look for this jewel. Look for this. God within is there because we are what appears to be a fragment of God. Although We are part of everything, and everything is part of us. When we begin to connect with ourselves, we begin to connect to all the oneness there is. We fall into unity. And the next one, the richness within you is immense, and the abundance around you is inexhaustible. Yeah, the richness within you. We have the kingdom. Jesus says, the kingdom of heaven is within you. He also says that it's not of this world. So, not necessarily trying to look for it where it's not. Look for it where it is. It is within. It's very unlike anything this world is all about. Yeah. And it's within. And if we go quiet enough and desire it with all our heart and mind and will, it will begin to wink at us. I'm like, hey, Cole. I remember once I was reading Right Use of Will, and I talked about heart. Heart did this and heart did that. I'm going like, heart, where are you? And it was just this simple word said, here. And it just blew my mind. I was like, oh. I was stunned with the simplicity of the heart. It's like, here I am. Here I am, your loving presence. And if you think with me, everything's gonna be just fine. So the richness within you is immense, and the abundance around you is inexhaustible. And here it goes. The more you give, the more you have. The more you give, the more you have. So we've done this now a few times. So what do you wholeheartedly desire? Whatever comes, notice what feeling it generates in you, and then begin to give that feeling. Yeah, this is not about giving objects or money or clothes or whatever we give to others, but it has a lot to do with feeling it. Yeah, feeling is the secret to all of this. Yeah, so you give a feeling. I tell you a little secret, and that is, once you learn how to give the feeling, and obviously what you truly desire wouldn't be some kind of hatred or terror. It would be more of the qualities of peace, joy, and tranquility. But when you learn how to give the so-called positive feelings, I would invite you to allow yourself to feel something that's not so acceptable, and give it. And you might go, oh, I don't want to do that. Why would I give this? Well, you might be surprised. The more you give, more you have. And it doesn't matter what it is that you're giving, as far as it's given. Because if you allow yourself to give whatever it is that you hold within, it will begin to move. And it's that movement that will then dispel these qualities, and they will no longer be just sitting there, but they will be more like energy that was stagnant forever into a movement, what I call life. It's the most exquisite feeling to even move even what we call the worst feelings ever. When they met with loving acceptance and an apology for the rejection of them, they will move. And when they move, that's when once Jesus says that you can move mountains. You can really move mountains because you actually will shift the outside reality that way. So more you give of anything you're holding within, more you have. And the next one is the world is rich enough for everyone to become rich. The world is rich enough for everyone to become rich. You can be very rich, not necessarily happy. So we're talking about some inner abundance, and whatever the rich for you is, but whatever the feeling of rich is with you as well. Because we're asking the secrets of abundance. And so the next one, it says, don't blame yourself for wealth. This can sometimes happen where we are pretty well off, and we think we shouldn't be, or what about the poor people and so on. But he actually says, don't blame yourself. Kind of comes from the previous one. World is rich enough for everyone to become rich. Yeah. If we change our thinking and allow ourselves to be inspired and fall into the flow of life, we can only attract to ourselves what we truly need. And next one is, happiness stands on the doorstep of your house. Right? That the happiness is actually so close to us. Even just sitting there, dropping off all the drama of this world and just allowing ourselves to feel happy. Like, could you allow yourself to feel happy? And you say yes. And it will begin to birth immediately in you. Yeah, the Word becomes flesh. The Word becomes world. Yeah, do you allow yourself to feel happy for no good reason except just to be happy? Because truly, it's the denial of happiness that takes us places we often don't enjoy. Happiness stands on the doorstep of your house. And the next one, open yourself to abundance and turn everything in life into gold. I might have mentioned before that a few times in my life, even as a child, I had these golden dreams. And it was the most fulfilling experience I could ever remember as a child. And I was trying to figure out, how can I have this dream again? But I could never just do it. And then later on, these experiences would come back again and again. And it was really until I find my own will, my own feeling realm, the mother within, that I could turn on this golden feeling, which is really thick in a way. Just imagine you're turning into like a liquid gold. You know, gold is flowing through your veins. You become this experience of gold. So this is entirely possible. It's that inner alchemy. You become an alchemist. In A Course of Love, it says coal. Sounds like coal, doesn't it? Coal turns into a diamond. Hey, that anything like a rock begins to, by using different thought system and different way of speaking, it will begin to generate in you this feeling of abundance, feeling of gold. It will create a chemistry. When you attack yourself, it's pure acid. But if you worship in love, it creates a very different chemistry. And sometimes, like, turn everything in life or in your life into gold. It's like when you see your brothers as divine and your sisters as well. When you begin to see everyone, even who appears to be unlovable or unlikable, undesirable, we can change our mind and remember to see the way we saw in the original creation, where you could not see form and there was nothing to judge. Yeah, imagine this place, I tried it before, where your judgment system is completely dislodged. And then you see only the beauty in the other. You could try it. You can find your friend and just say, do you know what, I'm just going to tell you all the beautiful things about you. And the beauty I see in you is, and then you just don't stop. And notice what happens to the other person, but also notice that your alchemy will begin to change. So that's what Jesus trains us in the Course in Miracles, endlessly, to be able to see the brother for who he truly is. And in that seeing, we recognize ourselves for who we truly are. Yeah. Or you can tell your friend, hey, I'm receiving the gift of your radiant love. And notice what happens to them. But be like, look with your heart and you see the divine in the other, and then speak it out. Speak so it's authentic. And then he brings the last one, and that says, blessed are those who have found treasure in themselves. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Where is the kingdom? Where is this precious piece of jewelry? In God's jewelry store. That is the secret of abundance. So I'll read them all. What is the secret of abundance? Your life is the most precious piece of jewelry in God's jewelry store. God is the jewel of the human heart. The richness within you is immense, and the abundance around you is inexhaustible. The more you give, the more you have. The world is rich enough for everyone to become rich. Don't blame yourself for wealth. Happiness stands on the doorstep of your house. Open yourself to abundance and turn everything in life into gold. And blessed are those who have found treasure in themselves.